Hey there, everyone. It's Ariel Ramsey, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can get up to $55,000 in down payment assistance if you are a first time home buyer here in the state of Colorado. So stay tuned for more details. Alrighty, so this is actually a really exciting program. I went down to First Bank to talk to the actual staff there to find out the actual details of how it works and get all of the information so that I can share it with you, my beloved followers. So I'm going to jump into a screen share and just kind of talk about the program, how it works, who qualifies for it, and what you need to be able to do to take steps from start to finish. So let's jump right in. So this is actually comprised of two programs. The first one is called the PATH Grant, and this one is funded by First Bank. The way it works is that they will provide up to $15,000 toward your down payment. You do have to fit two criteria. You have to be African American, and this has to be your first time buying a home. In addition to that, your annual income has to be less than $135,000. So if you were buying this house with your spouse or your partner or a friend combined, your annual income cannot be more than $135,000. In addition to that, you will have to take a first-time homebuyers class, and it's important to remember that the funds are first come, first serve. I did speak to a banker at First Bank, and she explained that the funds are anticipated to run out somewhere in 2022 during September. So you've got plenty of time if this is something that you've been interested in, if you've already been thinking about buying a house. I recommend that you go to First Bank. I actually went to the one in Littleton, and there was a very well-informed banker there. Her name is Lolita. I put her phone number there on the slide. And she was absolutely awesome. She knew all the details of the program. She was able to explain everything, answer a million questions that I had for her. And now, again, I'm delivering this information to you guys. But again, if there's things that I didn't cover, I definitely recommend that you go chat with her. So the second program is what's called the Dearfield Fund. And what they're doing is they're offering up to $40,000 as a loan. So this is not a grant. You do have to pay this money back. But the $40,000 can be used in conjunction with the PATH grant to increase your down payment by an additional $40,000. So in total, $55,000 of down payment assistance. Now, the way that the Dearfield Fund works is they do what's called an equity share. So when you accept the $40,000, you will be giving Dearfield Fund a portion of your home's equity, right? And that comes in the form of them putting a lien on the house for their portion of their equity. And you will have to pay that $40,000 back plus 5% of appreciation in the home's value. You have 15 years to pay the loan back, and you have a few options to pay that back. So you can just pay it back as a lump sum somewhere within that 15 years. You can pay it when you sell your home, or if you choose to refinance your home, you would pay it back at that point. You're not able to make small monthly payments toward that. It either has to fall into one of those three categories of payback. But again, this is a really awesome program to just enhance the amount of money that you can utilize for your down payment. So I wanted to kind of touch on the process because this was a huge part of the questions that I had for the banker Lolita at First Bank. I wanted to understand exactly how the process worked from start to finish. And she broke it down for me in a very, very clear way. The first part of the process is what's called pre-qualification. And it starts out with you filling out an online application. The application was actually very, very easy. It asks some demographic information. It wants to know who you are, where you live, if you're going to have a co-borrower. They want to know your work history, just the normal questions that you would expect when you were going to borrow money from a bank. They want to kind of create a picture of who it is that you are as the borrower. In addition to that, you do need to provide a bit of verification information. And so the banker will ask you to provide 2 pay stubs. They have to be recent, 2 years of tax returns, and 2 years of W-2s. If you are a business owner, those requirements may change, but typically you'll be asked to provide 2 to 3 years of tax returns and a profit and loss year to date, as well as a profit and loss for last year and maybe even for the year before. You also will be required to have a credit score of at least 620, but I've heard that certain banks may work with you. I don't know specifically what First Bank's criteria is in terms of being able to be flexible around that 620. That's where you would really need to go into the bank, talk to them, let them know your situation. One of the things that I really enjoyed about working with Lolita was that she was really honest. She was able to tell me, where I may struggle in the application and where I would have no problems. And I'm sure you would get that same experience, but that communication can save you a lot of time in the process. So the next step that you'll have to go through is searching for the home. Once you do have your pre-qualification, it'll tell you how much your loan would be able to cover, and that's your budget. So if your pre-qualification gets you a $600,000 budget, you would start looking for homes that are less than $600,000. And once you found your dream home, you would, of course, be working with a realtor. You would make an offer at that home. And if your offer is accepted, you would move into the final step, which is called the closing process. And at that point, you would take your home ownership class. So your funds are applied directly to the down payment. If you were to utilize the PATH grant and the Dearfield Fund, they would be applied directly to the down payment. And when we're talking about down payment calculations, it depends on the type of loan that you would to take. So if you do decide to do a conventional loan, the down payment would be 3% of the loan versus FHA is 3.5%. And again, the bankers can go over this information with you in more detail, but I just wanted to give you an overview of how the process works so that you can understand what you're getting yourself into if you are going to go through this first-time home buyer process. Well, that's it. It really isn't very complicated. If this is something that you've been putting off, if it's something that you felt in your heart for a while, I want to be a homeowner, I want to be able to live in a home that I own, then this is a really great time for you to get involved in this program. Again, the funds are first come, first serve. So I really, really do recommend that you go ahead, reach out to Lolita, go into a First Bank that's near you if Littleton is too far, ask the questions, and then start the process. And you'll find that it's actually not that difficult for us to be able to become homeowners, and not only become homeowners, but do it without the obstacle of having to bring a lot of money to the table. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, leave comments below. But I really do recommend that you go straight to the bank, because they're going to be the ones that'll be able to answer the questions that are specific to your situation. All right, everybody, until next time, take care.